So here we are, a few weeks later after my prediction that Omega were done for now with the Speedmaster, and sure enough they hit us with another Speedmaster in the guise of the 1957 65th anniversary with the legendary 321 movement. Now, I'm not really here to talk about that watch per se, because for most of us it's out of reach. It's more about what this means for the next one, and I have a few thoughts on this. I'm Andy, welcome to the English Watch. This channel is about me and my watch collecting journey, an amateur enthusiast with an eye for detail, helping like-minded individuals like you start your watch collecting journey. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Please also check out some of the affiliate links in the description whilst you're leaving your comments about this particular video. Anyway, before we start talking about Speedmasters, I just want to have a quick mention about the Redbar. So, yesterday, which was Saturday, I went to my very first Redbar event, the Redbar Bristol, and it's hosted by a chap called Jason, who gave me a very warm welcome and introduced me to a few guys there. I have to say I didn't know what to expect when I turned up. But actually it was just a bunch of watch enthusiasts with a shared passion, which, you know, as it was an enthusiast meeting, it shouldn't have been a surprise to me really. But what struck me really was the passion and the interest that was genuinely there. There was no conflict, everyone was there to celebrate everyone else's diverse opinions, everyone's diverse collections. I met some amazing people. There's a chap there called Ash from the Chaps Guide, another YouTube channel, so go check that out. And he had this amazing Rolex root beer and quite an interesting story about how he acquired his GMT Pepsi as well. Yeah, lucky guy. Also bumped into a nice fella called John from Oakhampton, and he showed me his little collection of, he had a Black Bay 58 he put on a rubber B strap, he had an Air King, Rolex Air King, and he also had a Tudor Black Bay Harrods, which he was quite pleased to have got. So it was great. And I think what I would do next time is I would take a selection of my watches, because I thought they were great icebreakers just to drop them down on the table and people come around, you talk about them, your reasons for buying them, you know, what fires your motivation for buying the next one. So highly recommended. Go and find a Redbar in your location. Sadly there's not one around here. Maybe I'll have a conversation with some of my friends or colleagues from work who are also watch enthusiasts. You never know. Anyway, let's get on with Speedmasters. Now, I'm wearing mine, my Speedmaster Professional. Still on this North Street strap, which I do like. It's very comfortable, very compliant. As the nubuck is starting to show signs of wear and tear on the desk, but it's holding up really well. I showed this watch to a few people at the Redbar event, and there's a lot of love for it. There's a lot of love for the Speedmaster and a lot of love for Omega. Now, that's good, because this video is about Speedmasters, but not the Professional, not the Moonwatch, but about the 1957. Now, this is a watch that came out in 2013. And when it originally came out, it had sort of alpha style hands, a bit like the first Omega in space. And then in 2015, they changed it a bit. They changed it to the original broad arrow style hour marker. They made some other changes as well, but I guess that was the most obvious thing, because it sort of aligned the aesthetic with the original 1957. So yeah, it could now sit and be called 1957 quite legitimately. Although I was taken by the Canopus Gold, yeah, £69,000, ooh, you know, halo model, bit of showroom appeal. Not that you'll ever see one in the showroom. But I started looking at the 1957. Now, I'd seen some in cases a few years ago, and you sort of look at them, and they are nice, but I was obviously drawn to the Professional and the Moonwatch and all that. But recently I've started looking at reviews and some videos of the 57. And I have to say, I was really taken by the that sort of tobacco-esque, really dark chocolate dial, you know, the recessed lume plots. And I'm personally not too fussed about the aged lume. I quite like it. I think it's a bit overdone in the recent James Bond Seamaster, but I think on that one it was quite nicely done, and I think it worked quite well. So I thought, well, I'll go and check out, see if they still stock it, you know, go and try one on. Discontinued. You look on the Omega website, some of the older the leather strap versions or some of the bimetal or precious metal ones are still available. but the steel with the flat link bracelet, the age loom, not available. Now there's that, but there's also the fact that with the, I think it was the 9300 coaxial movement, it's got the automatic winding and the column wheel for the chronograph. It made it a bit thick, and although I've not tried it on, I have tried a number of those 2 register Speedmasters on. I have to say they are a bit chunky, and this one comes in about 16mm, which is, I think, is on the top side. And for something with vintage aesthetic and, you know, trying to sort of echo back to the vintage style, having something that's dead thick doesn't quite work for me. Now, the one thing I do like about Speedies generally is because it's got that sort of mid-case sort of design. They do slim out quite nicely, even the bigger ones. But I think when you're starting to encroach on, you know, planet ocean thickness, it's, you know, you're sort of diverting away from the overall look and feel. What sparked my, I guess, creative juices a little bit was the chronoscope. You know, this watch that came out middle of last year, it's autumn I think. A watch that I've tried on, wears nice, but I don't really like the aesthetic. Then I was thinking, well, this has got the same movement as the 2 registers, the 9000 base caliber. This one's called 9908, and this 9908 is a derivative where they've removed the winding rotor to take some thickness out. So the chronoscope measures up at 12.8mm thick, and that's pretty good, and that's what makes it wear quite nicely. Now I'm thinking the old Speedmaster 57 discontinued. It wasn't one of the master chronometers, so they're going to bring something like that back, because Omega are not ones to not have their heritage pieces for sale. So I'm expecting a new first Omega in space at some point with the 3861 movement, but also a new 57. And don't know if they'll put the date on it like the previous version. They might do a chronoscope with it's the no date and put this slimmer movement in. So I think if they can sort of harness this same sort of design aesthetic for the 57 and for, you know, this anniversary piece that's got an onyx dial and the Canopus Gold, I think they might have a bit of a winner on their hands, and something I'd be very interested in. So the thing I like about the Omega heritage pieces is that straight lug design. Now I own a few Omegas that've got the, you know, the traditional sort of Seamaster-esque twisted lug style design, and although they're okay, I think having the availability of the straight lug design, like on the Diver 300 that I also like, the heritage version, and the first Omega in space, and on the Speedmaster 57, and the Railmaster obviously, so those are trilogy watches, I find that quite appealing. And it would enable me to have, say, 2 Speedmasters or 2 Seamasters in a collection that were different enough. You'd have the modern piece and the heritage piece. So I find that quite appealing. I'd love to know your thoughts. Thanks for listening to this. Like I say, hopefully I'll see you at Redbars more often. I'd certainly like to go to more. So I'd like to thank everyone I spoke to yesterday. Thanks for engaging, thanks for being kind. It was really great to meet everyone. Everyone's got a story, haven't they? And I guess the great Robert Meyer Burnett of the Burnett work, so it's worth checking his channel out. But he always says something like, everyone you meet has got a unique story to tell. All you've got to do is listen. Everyone was doing that last night. We were all listening to everyone's stories, and they're all interested. Everyone had a different thing to say about why this watch, or, you know, why they even lived in the area at the time. And I met so many people that knew areas that I'd lived in the past or worked in the past, so that was dead interesting. It's a small world, you know. We've got to connect and be nice to each other. So thanks for listening. I'm Andy. This has been The English Watch. Take care, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now.